This is a project in the 90s that was not built, but it's still nonetheless interesting. This project for Samsung in Seoul was designed as a 111-story tower. And one wonders, how could this be environmentally conscious? It was designed to be 5 million square feet above grade, 6 million square feet below grade, 11 million square feet in one complex. But nonetheless, we think that this had certain advantages. First of all, with very tall buildings, one of the chief factors to be considered is wind. And by shaping the building as part of the overall wind design and using that shape as the basis of the design, one can reduce the forces that act on the building itself and consequently reduce the amount of structural steel that's needed and reduce the materials that are needed. In addition, by studying the wind very carefully, we're able to kind of tune the wind, and that is to be able to use these wind loads to restrain the movement of the building rather than to accelerate the movement of the building. These intermediate spaces here were intended to be landscaped and planted, and using those wind loads at these great heights to power wind turbines that could generate electricity. Naturally, we were looking at the building enclosure and looking at a double skin wall once more, and this one being an active wall. In general, tall buildings have many, many advantages over a series of low-rise buildings. Tall buildings, skyscrapers, have the advantage of in general presenting less surface area than a series of small buildings. In addition, the smaller roof area absorbs less heat. If we look at a distributed area of suburban office buildings, the elevator usage in these tall buildings is a much more efficient way for people to get to their workplace than driving to their workplace by cars. To further clarify this point, if we took the 11 million square feet of this Samsung project and we distributed it through suburban office buildings of 4 stories in height, with their parking lots and with their space between them, it would be necessary to use up 250 acres of space, 1/3 the size of Central Park, in order to accommodate the same office space. And clearly, this is an effective way to deal with our environment, and we firmly believe, I firmly believe, and I know Jeff does too, that building tall buildings in an urban environment where people access these buildings by public transportation is one of the most effective approaches to environmental design.